Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are Pardon My Wisdom. We got some good information again for y'all this week, but first, if you don't mind, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We need everybody to go ahead and like up and subscribe to the video with all this good content so we can bring y'all some more content. But let's get into this information, man. D-Lo, how was your week, bro?
Man, my week was good. I'll forever say it. So just know when he asked me, just know when he asked me how was my week, it was great. Spent time with the family. I feel like a bad dad a little bit though. Let me explain. So we took the kids to the playground up in the neighborhood, and my son is a climber and a runner. He's only 15 months, and while we were playing with my daughter, he tried to sneak off and he ran, and he's not that athletic yet, and he fell on the concrete and he scratched up his face a little bit.
No.
Yeah, but it's all good. He's tough, but he's just not very coordinated right now. So I feel like a bad dad for letting that happen, but kids will be kids.
That's what I'm about to say. Kids would be kids, man. And he need those experiences to understand. Don't you run off no more.
For sure.
Yeah, what you doing, cuz?
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, everything's good. Getting ready for the Christmas holidays, which is one of my favorite times of the year. Sure. How about you? How was your week?
Hey man, just like D-Lo said, man, to get used to hearing me say the same thing, because it's just the same old thing, man. Making sure everything is good with the podcast, making sure everything is good with my job, making sure everything was good with Sam. She had a volleyball tournament here recently that she did really, really good in. So I'm very excited to go check that out. She's amazing, man. She's freaking amazing. But other than that, man, like D-Lo said, just getting ready for the holidays. He went and bought a tree. I need to go buy me a tree. I think I got me a artificial in that closet over there, but we're gonna see. But yeah, man, everything is good, man. Everything is beautiful. Everything's beautiful, bro. But what are the topics, G? What is the topics?
The topics. We're gonna talk about Antonio Brown and his off the field struggles. We're gonna discuss Kelsey Plum's quote about the WNBA and wanting the same revenue share as the NBA. And we're going to talk about something that is, I think it'll be funny, is the J-Lo was to honor Whitney Houston with a tribute at the tribute performance at the Grammys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that. So as far as we getting into Antonio Brown, man. So this man has done a lot over the past 3-4 years, D-Lo now? 2018,
4 years.
2019?
4 years, yep.
And you already know how I feel about Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the man, ever since that Vontaze Burfict hit back in 2018, I think he had CTE.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, which for those that don't know, it's a brain, like want to call it a disease that can happen throughout a football player's years with all the contact to the head. Of course, we have helmets on. I mean, D-Lo with ex-football players. Of course, we have helmets on, and I've suffered some concussions in my career. But the more and more impact that goes to your head and to your brain, you can develop CTE and get this catch disease, and it makes you forget things. It makes you erratic sometimes. It has a lot of different side effects to it. And I believe that he has CTE, but I think D-Lo has a different take. So what you think?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a person that we wanted to talk about for quite some time. Just other things have come up that surprisingly have overshadowed him in the given weeks that we've been surprisingly, right? That we've been doing this podcast have overshadowed him. So Sticks is alluding to my thoughts on Antonio Brown, and I mean, I just think it's who he is, honestly. We talk about the last couple of things. Me and you talk about Antonio Brown again, because we wanted to talk about him so many times, but we've talked about him multiple times away from the mic, not actually on the mic.
Facts.
And I'm not sure how to take his antics. You know, a lot of people, as you mentioned, they they um, they contribute his antics to the hit that he had in the playoffs against the Bengals with Vontez Perfect. But you know, I partially, like I said, think it is who he is. The reason I say that is because I think we have to be careful with labeling everybody that doesn't go with the social norms or whatever the case may be as having a mental illness or crazy, because sometimes it's just who that person is. And the reason I say that is because it seems like everything that he's done on the field prior to that hit, and his talent have kind of overshadowed the small little things that he has done to get in trouble. And again, it's been more so on the field rather than away from the field. Since 2018, I believe all of his troubles, for the most part, other than him running out in New York when he didn't want to play anymore, taking the shirt off, was on the field. But everything else was off the field troubles. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So before they hit in 2015, he came into the league in 2010.
Right.
2012, he signs a new contract extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
It was been rumored, or it has been said, that as soon as he signed that contract with the Steelers, and this is, I mean, this is not anything major, but you know, in a grand scheme of things, it could be the building block to who he has become now. As soon as he signed that contract, he runs out and is at practice yelling at the defensive coordinators and the defensive players, talking about, "Don't touch me, I'm the franchise." Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, Ben Roethlisberger's still on the roster.
Ben
Oh, okay.
Roethlisberger in the franchise,
Okay.
in the organization.
Right.
2014, what is known as the infamous kick, he's returning a punt and straight karate kicks the punter in the face on a kick return.
Facts.
Okay. 2016, again, this is nothing like crazy. We celebrate and think that players should have the ability to celebrate and express more emotions when they score touchdowns, but he gets fined
Right.
for twerking in the end zone.
Facts.
Right.
Right. Remember that.
And in 2017, he signs another contract extension, and he's on the sideline throwing coolers and yelling at Ben Roethlisberger yelling at coaches, not Ben Roethlisberger. And in 2018, because he wasn't getting the ball or something happened as far as an incompletion or whatnot, he's yelling at Ben Roethlisberger on the sideline, and then skips practice for the final game of the season. And subsequently was suspended and not able to play. So to me, while these are minor infractions for Antonio Brown, it's a telltale sign of the. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with some of the celebrity endorsements and whatnot, but the more money he got, it just revealed more of who he really was. He could be his true self. Because you know when you're and I know I'm going on a
No,
little
you
long
good.
right now, but
Do your thing.
because you know when you're in the league, because he was a 6th round pick, so
Right.
not a guarantee to make the roster in any way, shape, or form. But when you first get there, especially as a 6th round pick, you're just trying to be as humble and as out the way as possible. So you make sure that, you know, all of your on the field work, your hard work and your performance is evaluated rather than your off the field
Character. Right.
character, right? And
Right.
then when you get that money, you can start to be a little bit more of who you are. And I just think that's who he is. 'Cause, I mean, I'm not saying like the hit doesn't have anything to do with some of the actions that he's has done here lately, but I just think that's just who Antonio Brown
It's his
is.
personality. I mean, I can dig that, and it's one of those things where and I'm glad you. That's why I said I keep always say every week I'm happy we had these conversations because you put a different perspective in my mind as to all of the things that you except for
The
except for
twerking.
no, all of the things except for the sideline situation where he throwing coolers and arguing with coaches to him arguing with Ben Roethlisberger on the sideline and in practice. All of those things all of the things that you named happened before the hit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so I'm glad to put you in respect. But don't get me wrong, Antonio Brown, when he was with the Steelers, was an animal.
Right.
Year over year, 100 plus catches, 1,400 yards every single season for like what? I would say 6-7 years in a row.
Right. Yep.
And he
He
was
said,
amazing.
yeah, he set the Steelers record for a lot of receiving stats, and the Steelers
100%.
have had some great receivers in their organization.
Some great ones. So he was. I'm not gonna go off to say he was a franchise because that's definitely since his time in Pittsburgh has been Ben Roethlisberger. But he was most of Ben Roethlisberger's success. He was the security blanket for Ben Roethlisberger for
Right.
6-7 years in a row. So
Right.
so with you saying that, I can kind of bring my perspective back a little bit, but I still think my boy need to get evaluated because even with that, right? So he was released by the Steelers and he was benched and released by the Steelers in 2018, around this time, actually, 2018 in December. But then they traded him to the Raiders.
Right.
But then was found guilty of reckless driving. And he was supposed to go to the Bills after that, but then the Raiders still picked him back up. And after that, he was at that time, he was the highest paid NFL receiver. So this can kind of go back to what DeLon was saying, more money, more problems. But then he makes the bad decision of going to a cryotherapy appointment and doesn't put any shoes on in the cryotherapy is like they freeze your body and it's supposed to reset your muscles and things like that. But he doesn't put any shoes on his feet or any protection on his feet, and he burns his feet from the ice from the cryotherapy machine. So that happens, and then he rants about not having the correct helmet for the Raiders.
Yeah,
then,
so that was around the time. That was around the time, and sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
That was around the time when the NFL was making changes as far as the equipment that they thought was safe for their players, and I mean that Tom Brady was having an issue with that as well. But of all people, that should and it because it goes against your argument, sadly to say, but of all people that would be more amped to change their equipment, you would think it would be Antonio Brown, especially after the horrific hit that he took from Vontaze Burfict.
Exactly. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe
it's a comfortability thing too, though.
It definitely is, because us playing football, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I went down to Miami, they tried to give me one of those brand new helmets. I was like, nah, just give me a shut. I'm comfortable. I like those, the 2-bar joint. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Just let me get that. But they gave me what I wanted. So I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't gonna make a fuss about it if the GM was gonna come say, nah, all the receivers gotta wear this. So all right. You know what I'm saying? You talking about paying me, so let me put this ugly ass helmet on.
Exactly.
But anyway, with him being the highest paid receiver at the time, he can kind of make those kind of demands, especially with the performance that he's had prior to him getting to the Raiders. But even then, he got into it with the owner and called the man a cracker.
No, not the owner. It was the general manager, Mike Mayock.
Okay.
Yeah.
General manager.
Mike
He
Mayock.
called Mike Mayock a cracker and told him he still needs to give him that $30 million that he owe him.
Yeah.
So they had to pay him because it was guaranteed money. But as soon as they got that check, he was out of there. They shipped him off to New England.
No, they didn't pay him.
They didn't pay him?
Nah, that's why they cut his ass.
Oh, that's why they cut him. You're right. They released him. They released him, and then he signed with the Patriots.
Yeah.
So that and this kind of gets into a little bit of the most recent troubles that he's had, because that was the moment that he reunited, that he came across Tom Brady, who Tom Brady has been one of the most influential people since that time in his career.
Yeah, he's been in his corner for real.
He's been he's been like his wingman 100% and supported AB 100% ever since he got to New England in 2019. And Antonio Brown literally over the past couple of years has done nothing but shit on Tom Brady. To me. Now they've done well on the field. They won a championship together a couple of years back, and but Tom Brady has done nothing but be in his corner 100%. And
Let him
Yeah,
stay at his house.
let him stay at his house with his wife there. You know what I'm saying? And now this
And his
man going out
kids.
and his kids. Now this man going out and putting stuff on social media about Giselle, and this is like, bruh, like what you got going on, my boy?
Yeah, what energy you on, my guy?
What energy you on?
Yeah, I mean,
But on my fault, go ahead.
no, go ahead. My bad.
No, but what I was about to say is the reason why we're talking about AB now is because he was just in the news for a domestic violence situation. I don't know if we mentioned that at the beginning of the segment,
No,
but
we did. We did.
he has a domestic violence situation now where he was trying to issue um a verbal what's the word I'm looking for?
Threat.
Eviction of this young
Oh,
lady that was
eviction.
staying
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
crib, and they
Not,
got
not no.
into it.
Don't say young lady. The mother of his kids.
Oh, his baby mom. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
got you.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to issue a verbal eviction from his home that he owns, that she stays at with his kids, and they got into they got into an altercation and an argument, and apparently he threw a shoe at her and hit her in the ponytail, and she called the police on him,
Yeah.
and now there's an arrest warrant out for him in Tampa. So that's what's going on with him now. But everything that we're talking about now kind of leads up to a lot of the things that he's been doing. But go ahead, what was your point you was about to make?
No, I was just gonna say that exactly what you said as far as how we got to discussing Antonio Brown today and the events that have led up to that point. So yes, he has received a arrest warrant, which I don't think he has yet to be arrested or
He
taken
hasn't.
into custody.
Yeah.
And then before that, he's had a back and well, I wouldn't say a back and forth. He's just been going at Tom Brady for whatever reason we don't know. Is and not happy with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bruce Arians. He has gotten into a situation where was he in Dubai and he was exposing himself. Was he in Dubai?
Mhm.
He was
He
somewhere.
was in
He was
Dubai,
somewhere,
and he was at a
and
hotel exposing
yeah,
himself in the pool.
exposing himself in the pool. Before that, he also got into he was still going at Tom Brady. Then
Mhm,
last year is when he had the ordeal that he ran off the field because he said his ankle was hurting, but he was playing earlier in the game, and Bruce Arian wanted him to go back in, and he
mhm,
didn't want to go back in. So Bruce Arian basically cussed him out on the sideline, and that's when he ran off the field, took his pads off his shirt, and is amping up the crowd.
threw everything
Yeah,
into the
threw
did
everything
he
to
throw
the
it in the
crowd.
crowd? Yeah. And
Yeah,
just amping the crowd up and acting like because he really think he the franchise, but not
yeah,
knowing you just played with two quarterbacks that's probably two of the best of all time,
right.
and you acting like you was the center of attention. But the crazy thing is that with that situation that we just talked about, the medical staff cleared him to play the
Cleared
week
him.
during the week. They cleared him to play. He practiced Thursday and Friday,
Hmm.
walked through on Saturday, and he was in the game the first half, running routes, looking good.
Yeah,
But that just goes to that situation where he just to me he just didn't feel like playing no more.
right. Well, I mean, because we talked about concussions in episode 5 and with Tua, and we also said the medical staff could have done a better job with protecting Tua and not allowing him to go back into the
100%.
game the first time he had a concussion. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put it all on AB. That the medical staff definitely could have probably handled that situation better. And I don't want to take away from the part. No, I'm not saying that they definitely could have. I'm just saying you don't want to 100% say the medical staff was absolutely right in clearing
True,
him to
that's true.
play
I got you.
because
I feel you. I
it's
feel you.
still at the end of the day they're a part of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and
Right.
it's all about getting the best product on the field. So
100%.
Antonio Brown is one of the best players on the team. We need to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that he's good to go. And play, whether that's giving him a shot, whether that's whatever the case may be. Now we don't want to put damaged goods on the field,
Right.
and further hurt him. But if he can play at 85%, he's better than the majority of the NFL.
Agreed.
But long
Agreed.
story, getting back to the concussion, uh, I don't want to say, um, I don't want to discredit and diminish that hit because
Mm-hmm.
you know you said he has CTE. We
I
truly
believe he
won't.
does.
Yeah, we won't know. And CTE stands for chronic traumatic uh,
Encephalopathy.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we won't truly know if he does have that until he goes and gets a brain scan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a scan of his brain, and I don't think you can actually. Can you do that while you're
So
alive?
from about to say from what I know is you can get treated for symptoms and they can give you like a post kind of like a diagnosis,
Hmm.
but they really you really won't know if somebody has CTE until they pass away and they can actually observe the brain to actually analyze it. So you can't
Exactly.
CTE can't be CT unfortunately CTE can't be diagnosed until after the person has passed away.
Exactly. So we won't truly know if he has that issue or not until the demise of Antonio Brown.
Hmm.
We have seen him go through what seems to be a change after that hit for sure. Like his off the
Yeah,
field antics have become more aggressive, and he's been
erratic.
more erratic off the field, and that's signs of those individuals that do have CTE. But
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I just think that's just who
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is. I hope I'm wrong, and maybe he does have CTE. But viewing off where he came from,
Hmm.
viewing some of the actions that I read about before the hit, it was more on the field. And when you're a good talent, they'll
Hmm.
try to like cover that up and they'll deal with it because it's on the field. You're not really hurting the
Hmm.
image of the NFL away from the field, like we've seen for the last decade with some of the incidents with women and um, you know different different violent offenses, traffic stops, or not even traffic stops, but traffic accidents, fatal traffic accidents at that. So
Hmm.
he wasn't really doing any of that before the hit.
Hmm.
Then after the hit, it just became, like you said, erratic.
Yeah.
So I don't want to discredit that, but I really just feel like it's who Antonio Brown is.
Yeah, I mean, and I can agree with that. Like I said, just based off the conversation that we have now, like I always agree. I tend to have a different perspective once we had these conversations, but it's like he was just some of the dumbest stuff that you can do, like supplying a fake vaccination card. Wow, bro, this,
Mhm,
if you know what I'm saying, if they having you get a vaccination to play, which if you can protest if you want to, just like DeAndre Hopkins did, he ain't want to get it, so he didn't play. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So if you didn't want to get the vaccine, cool, yeah, that's your prerogative. But
But
don't
didn't Aaron Rodgers do that too?
100%. But he played though, didn't he?
Yeah, but
But no, but see,
I'm
he kept, but he made it to where he was. Aaron Rodgers ain't the topic of this conversation,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
he made it
yeah,
to
yeah.
where he was saying that he did some other stuff. Like he
Uh,
got some other type of herbal or natural kind of
yeah,
vaccination, blah blah blah, and he was showed proof of it apparently.
right.
But even with that, but don't supply a fake one, and
Mhm,
then don't the person who supplies you the fake one, don't throw him under the bus and have him tell on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, you just got to be smarter. Like, you making too much money to. It's kind of like the Josh Gordon situation. You making too much money to fuck it up.
right,
You know what I'm saying? You keep doing dumb shit after dumb shit after dumb shit, and you're one of the highest paid receivers in the league, and you are risking that income because you want to be because of your erratic emotions and your actions, bro. Like, just be smarter. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Be smarter. I mean,
Yeah.
me personally, like I said, my final wisdom on Antonio Brown is get checked out
Mhm,
and seek some kind of professional help because a lot of the things that he does and he says is like just to me it don't make no sense,
mhm.
especially with the whole thing with Tom Brady. Did you see the text message that they shared?
No, I did not see that.
Basically, because it was a long message from Tom Brady, and AB actually posted on social media, which I don't know why, but it was over a year ago that he texted him.
Mhm.
But Tom Brady texted him basically saying, "Hey man, like you, so I love you to death, but your actions and the things that you're doing, you're going down a dark path,
Oh, I
and
think I
I'm
did see
worried
that
about
actually,
you."
yeah.
Yeah, basically. So that's basically so like, it's like people around him are starting to see, and the goat can see it. I know other people can see it.
Mhm.
So it's like people around him are starting to see that he's taking himself down a dark path, and I feel like he needs to like seek some help, bro.
Yeah. And so I feel like my final thoughts on this, I feel like he is one of those individuals that loves attention.
100%.
And
I agree with that.
and with him gaining more money is has gained him more notoriety, but it's not enough for him. And so he does certain things. I'm not talking about like his recent events where he has tried to verbally evict his baby mom and
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I'm talking about stuff he does on social media. Um, that type of stuff. I think the
Yeah.
attention that he's gotten for being Antonio Brown, the great football player, isn't enough for
Mhm.
him. He's trying to venture into other avenues, which is fine,
Yeah,
but it's
100%.
all about your tact and how you do things, and his tact isn't that great. And
Ain't that good
so
at all.
he's running into these situations where if he means good by it, it's coming off as him being arrogant, and the situation is malice. And so,
Mhm.
because of that, because he may be trying to be aggressive in his movements, we're saying he has suffered CTE or some type of
Yeah.
serious brain injury from the hit, because all of a sudden he seems more erratic than he has been. And
Mhm.
again, I'm just saying that's just not who he is. But I do agree with you, he probably needs to seek some assistance, like we were talking about in our first episode with Manti Teo, how he was
Mhm.
going through all that stuff, and then he seeked assistance with his
Mhm.
mental health, and he's able to deal with all the things that he has to go through,
Mhm.
or did have to go through with that catfish situation.
Same thing with John Wall, what we talked about in episode 2. He
Yeah,
went and
same thing.
seeked
Exactly.
he went and
Exactly.
seeked help too, and he was on the verge of self-deletion, and he was like, "Yo, I need help." And,
Right.
you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
And so maybe, and so if he hasn't already, he definitely needs to seek someone, a therapist that can help him cope with the issues that he's dealing with, maybe from
mhm.
childhood or anything that's happened to him recently that he had that we don't know about. He probably
Right.
just needs to go see them and help him work that out.
But the way it looks, man, I don't think with his arrogance and his attitude, I don't think he probably think he don't need it. But, yeah, that's neither
Yeah, I
here nor
mean,
there, man.
right. I
But
mean,
it
who are we
yeah,
to tell him what he needs? But
very true.
yeah,
Very true. But, before we get to the next topic, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the chat if you got any ideas about what we should talk about, or if you got any comments about the Antonio Brown situation, make sure you put it down in the comments below, man. We would love to talk to you about it.
absolutely. So, in a now viral post from the residency podcast, WNBA star Kelsey Plum clears up the misconception
Mhm.
about about WNBA's players' claim to want equal pay from the league. She states that we are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue.
Mhm.
This has been a hot topic for quite some time. So
For some years now.
yeah, so Sticks, let's get right into it. How do you feel about Kelsey's statement, and should WNBA players get the same percentage of revenue as the NBA?
Whenever you talk about this is I'm glad she cleared the air as far as the misconception, because there's been a lot of conversations over the past few years from different ex WNBA players and all stars and current NBA WNBA players saying that it's not fair that the NBA gets paid 10 times, 12, 15 times more than what the WNBA players get, which cool. I understand that y'all's frustration that y'all's highest paid player, which is Brittany Griner and Skylar Diggins Smith, are only making 221,000 a year.
Mhm.
That's crazy for y'all being professional athletes.
Right.
Some players are making 130,000 a year. I'm close to that myself. So it's crazy that y'all are professional athletes, y'all are entertainers, that y'all are getting paid this much. While y'all got to go overseas to play ball to supplement y'all's money and this, that, the third, right? But like I said, I'm glad she cleared up this misconception, because with some of these conversations, it sounded like the women were saying, the NBA gets paid this much. Why can't we get paid this much? And with the percentage of revenue shared, I understand that, because with these TV contracts and jersey sales and streaming networks and stuff like that that actually share their sport, the NBA gets, I think it's a 50-50 split between the CBA and the actual organization. But it's not the same percentage in the WNBA. And I can understand that that would help the players more. But the fact that in the last 25 years, this organization has not been profitable at all, not 1 year have they actually made money, is the reason why a lot of these WNBA players can't make the money that they want, because the organization just doesn't make any money. What you think?
So, I mean, I think her statements, she's right. They should get that. However, when you dig into it,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. What she's saying they should get doesn't add up.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You're right.
And I have a lot of friends that I play. Well, that went to school with me. That and I have a lot of women hoopers that I
Mhm.
know. So I know if they pay attention to this segment, they might be calling me, letting me know that
Don't
you know
we just
they
spread the
not
news, ladies.
they
Don't
not
trip.
happy
Don't
with
trip.
me. They're not happy with me. But like I said,
Right,
when you
right.
dig into it, the first thing that you realize is the NBA subsidizes the WNBA.
100%.
Okay. Secondly, as you mentioned, the WNBA has not turned a profit since its creation at all.
Not one
They
time in
actually
25 years.
lose $10 million a year.
10 million a year.
That's the average. They lost
Yeah.
12 million one year, right?
Yeah. Right.
So to ask for the same percentage in revenue as the NBA, who made their revenue in the last couple years, they just topped $10 billion in revenue. That is not the profit. That's just the revenue that they bring in. And
Mm-hmm.
your league only brings in about 60 million. I don't think you can ask for the same revenue share as the NBA. Now, do they deserve it? Absolutely, they deserve it because
Mm-hmm.
there are plenty of female basketball players that are very talented and
Mm-hmm.
that could beat some like college players and I don't want to say NBA players because you get into that argument where we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Where the Brittany Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in a one-on-one game, um, but so they do love it. They
Yeah.
do deserve it, right? I don't think they don't deserve it,
Right.
but to say that you deserve the same amount of revenue share in year 25, comparing yourself to the NBA in year 76,
Mm-hmm.
who makes more than 10 times what you bring
More than.
in for revenue, I don't think you can say that. Now, if you go
Yeah,
back
true.
and say, give us the same revenue share as the NBA at 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, then they would be making less than what they make now. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of slack for this, but yes, they don't deserve the same amount of revenue share at this point in time. Not because they don't deserve it, it's just because the league does not bring in that much money for them to get that. The NBA subsidizes them. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying what you want is for the NBA to take away the players in the NBA, which we can have that conversation too. I think the statement you made earlier is telling of the economy that we live in, or
Mm-hmm.
the not the econ the culture that we live
Mm-hmm.
in America, where we expect for professional athletes to make these exorbitant amounts of dollars
Right.
when in reality they probably shouldn't be making. I don't want to say what they should be making because they did put in a lot of work throughout their life to get to where they are
Mm-hmm.
now to
Right.
reap the rewards, but they do make a lot of damn money.
Yeah.
um but to say back to what I was saying, to say that the NBA players should um, decrease their revenue share to help you get more for your revenue share when you, as a league yourself, don't bring in that much money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want that on their shoulders, and I don't think it's fair.
Yeah. I mean, and it's one thing to say, okay, the min the minimum contract for the WNBA is 57,000 a year.
Hmm.
That's pretty low,
Right.
but the average makes 130,000 a year. The average, and that's
Hmm.
like, what's the league minimum in the NBA? Like
1.5
800,000,
million.
1.5 mil. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I can see the parallels there, but the problem is the product. Now, understand this though, and ladies, I'm gonna say this right. Me and my daughter went to a Seattle Storm game and oddly enough a Las Vegas Aces game, which who Kelsey Plum plays for.
Hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie, I had a good ass time. I'm not gonna
Right.
lie. Me and Sam had a good time watching that live game. It was
Right.
amazing. It got to a point where my daughter, who was against playing basketball for her school in high school was like, oh, I might want to actually do this now as a watch. You know what I'm saying? So I had a good time watching the game. But the issue is what I mean by the problem is the product is because it's nowhere close to as exciting as a NBA game. Both of those teams that we went and watched, the Storm and the Aces, are two of the best teams in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. But if I was to take that game and then go watch two of the worst NBA teams play, the NBA game would probably be a lot more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the problem is the product, and the problem is that it doesn't have as wide of a fan base because the game is not as exciting to watch as the NBA. So you can take, not to mention that if you want to have equal revenue shared, then you got to play equal amount of games. They play 50 less games than the NBA players play. So you can't. So it's hard for you to play 32 games and you can't even bring in the same amount of money as the NBA on average in those 32 games, and then expect for players that play 82 games a season to give you more money whenever they're bringing in the majority of the income that your league is subsidized under. So
Right.
it's hard for them to do that. What would you about to say? I think you about to make a comment, I think.
Yeah, no, I was going to say exactly what you just said is they play 36 games in like 2 months, or 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. The NBA
Right.
plays 82 games, and if you go to the finals, that's 100. That's what 98 games that you've played
Yep.
in a span of 8 months.
Yep.
So we're talking about, and the WNBA only has 12 teams. The
Only
NBA
has 12
has
teams.
the NBA
30.
has 30 teams.
30
So
teams.
you know, if we compare those apples to apples,
Mm-hmm.
then
It's
again,
actually apples to oranges, my boy. It's not even apples to apples.
right? What I'm saying, if
Right.
we
But yeah,
compare those
compare those two.
categories,
Yeah, those
yeah, if we
categories, right.
compare those categories, the games played, the amount of time that's played, and also the amount of teams, is still, it doesn't equate to them asking for the amount of revenue, because
Right.
the revenue also comes from the amount of teams and the amount of markets that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in more markets and bringing in more fans, because like you
Mm-hmm.
said, if you go to a game, I've never been to a WNBA game. Not that I don't want to go to one. It's just I
Right.
haven't had the opportunity to go to one.
Right.
Charlotte does not have a NBA team anymore, WNBA team anymore.
Right.
But or do they? No, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah. So you're not in the markets that the NBA is in. So you're not be able to bring in that money that the NBA does.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing 30 games in 4 months, and then you're asking to make $1 million in 4 months.
It's crazy, right?
That's crazy to me. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
like I get it. You know, you have when you talk about what NBA players and NFL players make, a lot of players in the league will tell you it's only a small percentage of players in the league that make that large money. Like LeBron James, Steph Curry, Westbrook, those type of players, they're the ones that make that money. But the rest of the league is more around $2-3 million a year. They don't really make that amount of money. Now, all their money is guaranteed, but you know, they don't make that large sum of money. What I did think was crazy though was that the WNBA does not get money for their jersey sales.
Well,
That's
no,
crazy to me.
that's not true.
That's not true.
They do get money from their jersey sales, but it depends on the affiliation that's selling it. So what she said was, so if you go on WNBA.com or you buy a jersey from the arena or something like that, they will get profits from that jersey sale. But
Okay.
what she stated was Mandalay Bay Hotel sells the jersey in their gift shop.
Okay.
Mandalay Bay Hotel is paying the WNBA to be able to sell her jersey in that hotel. So she gets no money from that jersey sale because of the affiliation is actually selling the jersey.
Well,
but if I
is
bought
it
a
a back end way of getting it though? So if Mandalay Bay is paying the WNBA for that jersey, and then it goes on and sells to somebody else, Mandalay Bay has already paid for that jersey. So
true. So in that aspect, yes.
If they're paying the WNBA for that money for that jersey, and if what you're saying is true that they still get a cut of that, then she does get a cut of it,
So
whether
she does,
it
right.
comes
And I
directly from
agree.
Mandalay Bay or not.
And I agree with you. So it really just depends on the. So in that, if you put it that way, then yes, they do get paid because that's revenue shared coming into the organization.
Okay.
Agreed. But it really just depends on who, like I said, who's selling the jersey. Like straight off the WNBA website from the Coliseum that you're going to actually watch them play, and a couple of other avenues, they get money from that. But Mandalay Bay Hotel does not pay Kelsey Plum for selling the Kelsey Plum jersey for $100
Right.
whenever Mandalay Bay is paying the WNBA $30 per jersey to sell this jersey in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So but that's the she said revenue shared. So is she asking for the $70 share of the $70 profit that Mandalay Bay is asking for, or the revenue that Mandalay Bay gives the WNBA to sell her jersey?
The revenue. So she's talking about the revenue. So the profit is after you pay all of your bills or whatever the case may be, that whatever's left over is your profit. She's
Right.
not asking for that.
She's
She's
asking for because
asking
they don't
for
have any
the
profit. Right.
right. She's asking for the share, the cut of revenue that comes in. You have to pay us as we're part of the product. We're part of the resources that you have to pay that comes out of the bottom line.
Right.
She's asking for a higher percentage of that. And I
Right.
thought right now they just signed a CBA or they're under a CBA where they get 50-50, I believe.
They get a 50-50 split of incremental revenue. Not
Right.
all revenue, but incremental revenue.
Right. So and the NBA is at what, 60?
I think 65-35. Let me check.
Yeah. So she's asking for them to get 65% of the revenue that comes in, but they don't make the same amount of money as the NBA, and the NBA is profitable and the WNBA is not profitable. So that's where the two don't the story doesn't meet.
So this right here says that the players and owners collectively bargain to split 49 to 51% of basketball related income.
So the
To make
players
sure
get
that
51?
players get 51 and the organizations get 49. So yeah.
Yeah. So
Each
she's
player,
asking for 1%. Okay. I still don't
yeah.
think they should get that 1%. It's not, again, it's not a knock on the WNBA. The players that play in the WNBA, past and present,
Are amazing.
were amazing and are amazing, and they all have made that sacrifice to get to this point to have this conversation. The
Right.
problem is that they're still in their childhood of their life as a professional sport, where the NBA is 75 years old. They're 25 years old. They're still learning who they are. They're still trying to get that fan base. They're
Right.
still trying to fine tune their product. And I don't think they deserve it right now. Not saying that they don't deserve it in the future, but they just don't deserve it right now. However, I do think they could speed up the process of fine tuning their product if they do one thing. And this is where I think the women get upset, because I've had this conversation multiple times. I do think women get upset with this suggestion. They should lower that damn rim.
You sound like Shaq.
They should, bro. They
I
should
agree
lower it.
though. I
They should
agree
lower it.
with you. I
They should
agree with
lower
you.
it to about 9.5 feet, because then you have more individuals that could potentially dunk in a game and on people, rather than just Brittany Griner and 2 or 3 other individuals, or just the tall people in the league. You know, the
Yeah.
NBA is exciting not only because the dudes are fast or dribble extravagantly, but it's really exciting because at any given moment, a 6'4" dude can go through the lane and dunk on Yao Ming, or a 6'6"
Facts.
dude can go through the lane and dunk on Shaq. That rarely happened, but it could happen, right?
Right.
The average height in the NBA is 6'6", and you got these cats dunking on 10-foot rims. The average height in the WNBA is 5'9". So drop the rim to 9.5 feet and let those individuals try to dunk on people, and you
Keep it a
gonna bring.
bean though. Keep it a bean low. If they drop that, they gotta have to drop it at like 9 feet, because 9.5 feet is still pretty high for somebody 5'9", a 5'9" woman. No offense, to dunk at. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
just the average, though.
right, true. But somebody like you said, like Asia Wilson, who plays for the Aces.
Mhm.
She's 6'2". She
Mhm.
can dunk a 9'6".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she, Brittany
Or
Griner, who's six
yeah.
six, who my height, can dunk a 9'6". She can dunk a 10 foot.
Brittany Griner 6'9", bro. You tripping?
She 6'9". But she might be just doing like this. You know what I'm saying? And it
Exactly.
might be a little bit more exciting. She probably post up, dominate, and then dunk on her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That'd
Yeah.
be more exciting. Yes, but
Cause
like, but it's still, I still think on average we still wouldn't get as many dunks that we would be asking for at a 9'6" rim, bro.
so you saying bring it down another 5 inches? I'm okay. I'm fine with that.
I'm saying
Bring it down.
bring it down a foot, bring it down a whole foot, make it
Yeah.
9 feet, make it a
Yeah.
9 foot rim, and then you can probably have those 5'9s going through the lane,
I'm
one arm, one hand tomahawks, bro. Like
Yeah.
what?
I'm fine with that. Bring it down, or just adjust it to where you can have your average player, or slightly above average, dunking on a more consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, the problem with the WNBA is that men don't want to see women doing something that they could do on a consistent basis.
Right.
Now shooting, I think women shoot way better than
I
most
think
men.
so too, dog.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But men don't care about that. I mean, they do. Steph Curry has changed the game, and so that may have benefited the women's league some too.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know basketball was always a big man's game, and
Mm-hmm.
to some degree it still is. But that athleticism aspect of the WNBA hasn't quite caught up with what the public expects, and no man wants to go to a game and watch a woman do a layup on a fast break.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that. So
I agree.
to bring that excitement to the game, or that excitement factor to the game, I think lowering the rim would help them. And so the obviously the drawback, and where I hear a lot of the that ain't fair is, well, if you do that, it's going to change my shot. It's going to change this and change that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you already play with a smaller ball. You already play less quarters. What is it going to hurt to bring the rim down a little bit in the college and professional leagues? Now,
Mm-hmm.
the other drawback would be, it'll be hard for high school and lower to change that, interchange the rims for boys and girls, because if the boys play at 10 feet and the girls play at 9 feet,
9 feet.
then it's a lot of
Yeah.
shifting of the rims,
Right.
when
Right.
that's
Right.
not easily done. But college and the pros, they can do that easily.
College and the pros can definitely do that easily. But I mean, so I'm gonna go back to a comment you just made, that the WNBA hasn't caught up physically with the NBA as far as excitement. But, and ladies, I apologize. Go ahead and preface this. I apologize in advance. But do you think biologically they can actually catch up to that?
Well, okay, yes, no, I don't. If we're talking about
As far as like
biologics,
speed,
right?
strength,
No,
quickness,
no,
stuff like that. Like, right.
you'll have your anomalies here and there that can
100%.
run with the men and whatnot, or do the stuff that men do. But on average, no. But I wasn't talking about comparing them to men. I'm just saying in
Yeah.
general, we're talking about the average person now. We're not talking about a
Right. Right. Right.
professional, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I think the athleticism of most female professional female hoopers
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hasn't caught up to what we are expecting of a
I got you.
professional athlete. Not
I
saying
got
that
you.
they haven't caught up with men, because that probably will never happen,
Mm-hmm.
but just the expectation of what we want to see in a professional athlete,
Mm-hmm.
man or woman,
Yeah.
biologically, is what I was referring to.
I got you. That makes sense. But I think my final wisdom on this is that, I think the game is definitely is widely popular. There's a lot of men and women, fans that love the game of WNBA. It's just the issue is it's not it doesn't bring enough of that eye to the actual sport and to the actual organization, to where they can actually get the money that they honestly that they deserve. That they deserve. Because, just like we mentioned, with them playing 50 less games, them playing for 5 less months throughout the year, they don't bring in the same type of revenue that the NBA does. It's literally 10 times less. than what
Mm-hmm.
the NBA actually bring in, and the fact that you're subsidized underneath the NBA to be able to keep the organization going in the first place. Because honestly, if it wasn't for the NBA, y'all wouldn't have lasted 25 years.
Right, it'll fold it.
They would have folded a long time ago. Being 10 million in the whole year after year after year on average is crazy. So in order for that to happen, the game has to popularize. You have to play longer seasons. You probably have to get more teams in better markets. You have to do a lot of things to be able to ask for that higher percentage of revenue share. Because if not, there's no comparison. Because your counterpart, the person who's subsidizing you, is making way more money
Yeah,
and keeping you afloat.
right.
So you got to be able to do more to be able to get more. That's my
Yeah.
final thought.
Yeah, so I'll piggyback off that, and I'll try to add a little bit to it. I'll compare the WNBA to some of these upstart football leagues that we've seen in the
Mhm,
last couple of years. Some have folded, some have stayed afloat for a little bit longer,
mhm.
but they don't make the money that NFL players make. And let's
Correct.
say that the NFL was to say, okay, yeah, we'll subsidize one of these developmental leagues.
Mhm,
Um, would you expect for them to say, all right, well, you're subsidizing us, we're losing money, but we still want to get the same amount of revenue shared that the NFL players do? You know how many people would look at them like they crazy? And it's kind of the same situation that the WNBA is going through right now. Until they can stand on their own without being subsidized from the NBA, then I don't think they should expect to get the same amount of revenue share. Again, not saying that they shouldn't, because they definitely will deserve to get it in the future, especially for the sacrifices that they've made playing here in the summer and then going overseas or whatever in the winter to get more money.
mhm,
They've made plenty of sacrifices to do the things that they love to do. So if they truly love doing what they love to do and these sacrifices are true, their reward will come in the future.
mhm,
Unfortunately, some of the players that have made those sacrifices won't reap the benefits of those rewards right now,
mhm.
but they will see that they have left the game in a better place than they entered into it. And so,
Yeah,
I
and
think
that mhm,
I think if they continue to do what they have been doing, increasing the awareness of the WNBA and the Women's Professional League, getting these contracts that they have been getting. I think they're streamed on Amazon Prime now. They've
on
gotten
Twitch too.
oh, they are on Twitch. Okay, see,
Mhm.
I didn't know that. Oh well, that's a part of Amazon though.
True,
And
true, true.
and then also they've gotten some investments from outsiders to help them become profitable. I think if they continue to do that, then they will see that the league will change, their money will start to increase, and they'll be able to truly enjoy a life of a professional athlete in the United States.
And I agree. And just to do it, and you made a point there from what she said as far as them being able to do it on their own. She said Kelsey at the end of that interview, she said, "My goal is by the time I leave the league, I would like to see it a lot better than I found it. I'm here to ruffle some feathers. If you want change, you've got to be able to see the change. If I have to take a couple of shots for someone else to be able to do it, then I'm all for it." So she's kind of advocating for the league to get better. And
Right.
that's all you need. You need one person to speak up and one person to move forward to be able to see change happen. So then that's what Kelsey's trying to do.
Exactly. And again, if you are watching this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video here on YouTube. Leave us a comment let us know what your thoughts are on the WNBA and them asking to get the same amount of revenue shared. And if you're listening to us on whatever streaming platform, make sure to leave a like as well.
Mhm.
All right, so we always say that you should not believe everything that you hear or see on the internet and do your own
100%.
research. And it
Facts.
seems like once again, social media posts about a celebrity has taught us a lesson.
Has trolled us once again.
Has trolled us once again.
Again.
So on Wednesday morning, it was reported that Jennifer Lopez told Time magazine that she would be paying tribute to the late great Whitney Houston at the Grammys next year, and that Whitney's songs fit her vocal range very
Woo!
well.
Very well. It's the crazy part, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Turns out this reported statement by Lopez never happened, and the tribute to Houston, at least as far as we know, will not happen either. So, Sticks, since we're here to talk about this occasion, if the tribute by Jennifer Lopez was to happen, how do you think it would go?
My boy, listen here. Listen here. The fact that Whitney Houston is one of the, if not the greatest songstress of all time, that lady's voice she has so much range in her voice. So, bro, a couple of her songs made me cry back in the day. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is the national anthem almost made me cry that she did back in the day. Listen, man, I'm telling you, that lady was amazing.
Yep.
Even to the day she passed away, rest in peace, Whitney. She was amazing. Her voice never went away with her age. It never went away. But J-Lo, baby girl. You ain't got that range, baby. You ain't got that range, baby. But I know that you didn't. You didn't say that you were. So let me get this straight. Did she say that it fits her vocal range? Never said any of it. Okay. Never said any of it. Okay.
According to her publicist,
she never said any of it.
It never happened. The interview never happened, or the statement in the interview never happened. She never said that it fit her vocal range very well. And the recording of her whatever doing practice, it was not for the Whitney Houston tribute. I don't even know we don't even really know if that was really her or not.
So how do I think it would go? J-Lo, she should never do this. She should never do this, because I don't think she would be able to recover from the scrutiny that she would receive if she ever tried to pay tribute to Whitney.
Yeah.
J-Lo, baby girl, you beautiful. You even had Charlamagne sniffing your seat on Breakfast Club. But
hey, what?
You ain't never seen that?
Oh, man.
This man, J-Lo, was on Breakfast Club doing an interview with Breakfast Club, and she got up to go to the bathroom. And this man, Charlamagne, said, "Oh my God, J-Lo just got up. I'm about to sniff the chair." He sniffs J-Lo's chair in the studio on camera. I'll send you the link. You'll see it. This man, he goes, J-Lo, like, sniff it. You even got motherfuckers sniffing your seat to smell what your them cheeks smell like. So you listen, beautiful woman.
All right. Well, yeah, with 53, amazing. She still looks amazing. Yeah.
But
singing is not her thing, though.
Acting, 100%. Acting, you got that. Maybe she was good at Selena. I do say that.
Oh yeah. Well, we know why she was. Yeah. She was good in Selena. Yeah,
she was good in Selena. She was good in some other films too. But
yeah,
either way,
she's a good actor, but not
the singing. She had some good songs that were catchy, but as far as the voice and matching Whitney, please don't ever take this challenge. Please don't ever take this challenge, because you will not be able to recover, especially in the Black community.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, you will get fried, young lady. Right. You will get fried. There were so many gifs and so many memes on social media about if this was true. Oh my God, Black Twitter was going crazy on her.
Right. Yeah.
Black Twitter was going crazy on her.
So it seems like we're aligned on this, and I figured we would be. I don't 100%. Think it would have gone well either. I also think that many others, as you mentioned, thought it wouldn't have gone well either, evidenced by the numerous tweets and IG posts about this. If she did bless the mic to talk to tribute Whitney Houston, J-Lo's not known for her singing.
Not at all.
She's known for her appearance. She's known for the dress that she wore. Was it to the Grammys?
To the Grammys. Yep.
The dress that she wore to the Grammys. She's known for her ass. Am I lying?
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay, that's what she's known for. She's known for her appearance. She's known for the dress that she's wore to the Grammys. She's known for her ass. Yeah. And she's known for Selena. She's known for some acting roles. I wouldn't say like she's an top-notch actress, but she has done some good movies.
She's known more for her acting than she is for her
Yeah,
singing.
she's known for her acting than her singing.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Whitney Houston,
Whitney,
one of
bro.
the best to bless the mic. Arguably one of the strongest voices of all time.
Of all time.
Anytime you can sing the national anthem in a tracksuit, a headband, and a face full of sweat, and it be considered one of the best renditions ever done,
Ever done.
you
Man,
can sing.
sing.
You know what I'm saying? That, like you said, that national anthem itself. We're not talking about "I Will Always Love You." We're not talking about the one I run to. We're talking about the national anthem. Brings me to tears, or it touched my soul almost every time I see it.
Every time.
You know what I mean? And like I said, she wasn't even really trying to sing that. She just was blowing. And we talking
She was
about
going
J
crazy.
Lo. We talking about J Lo, not known for singing.
Has J-Lo ever done a national anthem?
She's done halftime show. I don't think she's done a national anthem. Maybe she has. I don't know.
I don't think she has. But you know what would be good though? What would be good if she was to do the tribute to Whitney? What would be good would be the performance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The performance would be amazing.
But that was not Whitney's thing. Whitney stood one place, gave you them vocals, gave you that angelic
energy.
voice,
Mhm.
and you loved it because you knew that was coming from her. That wasn't like no tape of hers. She was lip
No
singing.
remastering,
You know what I
none of
mean?
that.
That was her. Whereas J-Lo would, as you mentioned, the performance, she would have to give you the theatrics of it in order for it to be good. But that's not Whitney. So
that's not Whitney.
that in itself wouldn't match.
Wouldn't
the
even be
two.
a tribute.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a tribute. That'd be more of a So they said after this came out, they said if you need a tribute for Paula Abdul, J-Lo would be the person to call. And there's there's truth to that because Paula Abdul was dancers. You know what I'm saying? J-Lo's background, she danced on In Living Color, whatnot. So that marries very well. J-Lo and
does. It does.
Don't marry very well. I don't even really know who I could say would say maybe Brandy, I guess, or maybe Jennifer Hudson, or
I would say Jennifer Hudson or maybe Jasmine Sullivan, but
Jasmine Sullivan
Brandy,
would be
I don't even think Brandy has Whitney range.
Very true, because Brandy's a little bit lower, right?
She's a little bit. Her voice is a little bit more.
Brandy can sing though.
She can 100%. 100%.
Like if somebody said, yeah, Brandy's going to do a tribute to Whitney Houston,
that would be a little more acceptable.
It wouldn't get the reaction that J-Lo got.
No,
right? It might get some reaction like, but it wouldn't be like, what?
Right. It wouldn't be I got them on the screen right here. It wouldn't be these reactions, but it would be like, okay, people would be like, maybe, but I can see it. Right. But Jennifer, nah, dog.
Nah.
But Jennifer Hudson, Jasmine Sullivan, 100%.
Right.
I think that'd be like, oh yeah, 100%. They can do that.
Exactly. So to me, we should have known it was fake offhand, especially when it was reported that she said the vocal her songs fit her vocal range very well. Now you know. J-Lo, you know damn well. Don't none of Whitney Houston's songs fit your vocal range very well. It's out of your vocal range. So that's the first clue that we should have known that it was fake.
100%. And it's like, bruh, I mean, it's only a couple of songs that I actually remember from J-Lo, which was the one she had with Ja Rule and the one she had with LL. But I was looking through her catalog and I was like, don't none of this shit sound like Whitney.
No. Jenny from the Block? No. I'm Real? No. What was the song with LL?
What was the name of that song? I don't even know the names of the song. I don't even know the names of the song.
Yeah.
What was it? It was let me look it up.
She had like her it was considered hip hop, I think, but it was like songs. You know what I mean? Not really.
What songs?
Like, so Drake is in that club that house music, the yeah, the yeah, that's the type of music she was doing.
When you say I think about prom, but that's neither here nor there. Either way,
okay, you going back? Okay,
I think about something else, but either way,
yeah.
What was that song? It was called "Control Myself."
I don't even know what that is, but anyway.
Yeah, it was called Control Myself. No, it's All I Have. It was All I Have.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
All my love is
Yeah.
all I. That one,
And you
yeah.
sound just like her right now.
Exactly. Pride is what you have, baby girl. I'm what you have.
Exactly.
That boy,
So that,
it sound like it's like he do a DV. Like, pride is what you have, baby girl. I'm what you have.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
so we should have known that that was fake just off of that quote alone. The bigger question is why is it that we keep getting duped by, at least initially, by these fake posts, these fake whatever the case may be? Why is it becoming so prominent now?
because it's crazy because the actual report looked legit, and you don't really know if something is falsified until you get the actual, until you hear it from the horse's mouth. In this instance, J-Lo. Until J-Lo comes out and says, "Nah, I ain't say that shit. I can't sing like Whitney. What the hell?" Until she come out and say that, we don't really know, because the media is really all we have. But
Mm-hmm.
the issue is that it's social media. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't let Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or these social media handles dupe us, bro. And that goes back to what you've been saying since we've been doing this podcast. You have to do your own individual research to make sure that this shit is true. But we wouldn't have known on Wednesday if it was true until she came out on Thursday and said, "All right, nah, I ain't say that shit." You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take it at face value until the horse's mouth comes out and say, "Nah, I ain't say that." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
so everybody is going to get duped just because it's like, hold on, wait a minute, because it's such an outrageous claim that it's like you have to be like, you have to react to it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's another reason why is because, dog, like, I know she don't think she can sing like that.
Right.
So that's where
So
the reaction comes from. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that last statement you made, I think is the best one. Is the most accurate. Is you have to. It's like everybody has to give their reaction to
Mm-hmm.
something first. They have to do it fast. Media conglomerates included. They have to be the first, or if not the first, very close to one of the first to release information without
Mm-hmm.
really doing any due diligence to see if it's factual or not. And that was full circle for this podcast. Our first episode was on Manti Te'o and how all of that circulated, and
Mm-hmm.
how it started and it got the attention that it got is because ESPN and all these other media conglomerates didn't do their due diligence to even
Exactly.
if the woman was real, if well, shit, I guess Manti didn't either. but
Right.
but they didn't do their due diligence to see if this information is real. And social media plays such a big part in our lives now, that almost anything we see, we take it for what it is and say, "Oh shoot, J-Lo says she could sing like Whitney."
Right.
Come on,
Did she
man.
really just say this?
Yeah. So I think my final thoughts on this is J-Lo. We know you didn't say it, but we also know, and you should also know, that you cannot sing like Whitney Houston. You have been successful in your life, doing the things that you have found to be successful in, and not a lot of
100%.
people in this country, in this world, can say that. So congratulations for that. I think we need to do a better job at finding what is true and what is not true, and moving away from believing everything that we see on the internet, because we just have people now that are trying to make a name for themselves
Mm-hmm.
off of false information.
100%. I think my final wisdom would be just like you said, bro. We know J Lo didn't say it, and the whole world knows J Lo ain't got that range. But even if she did say this, it's like it goes back to the song. "All my pride is all I have."
I know you say
so,
you
so,
sound just like
so,
her, but you close.
all my pride is all I have. Like, what
And
the
we keeping
fuck?
that in there too, just so
Oh,
you
you
know.
keep it. Put it, clip it, do whatever you got to do it. But
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
but nah. So it's just one of those things where, just like you said, man. If Paula Abdul needed a tribute, J-Lo, do you think? But Whitney, nah, you just can't stand still and look good and blow like Whitney can blow. Nah,
100%.
nah. Jill Scott, maybe. Jennifer, yeah. Jasmine, yeah. But J-Lo, nah, that's not happening, cuz. That's not happening, cuz.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube
Yes,
video.
sir.
Leave us a comment letting us know what your thoughts are on this
Do it
J-Lo
right now.
situation, or the former situation, I guess, of J-Lo saying that she was going to pay tribute to Whitney Houston.
Facts.
My boy Sticks, episode 12, Pardon My Wisdom podcast,
Bro,
in the
we've been in this
books.
thing for 3 months now, boy.
3
3 months
months.
worth of the podcast, man. How you feel, bro?
I feel good about it. I feel good about this podcast. I feel good about the position that we're in. I appreciate the conversations that we have, because you always say I kind of change your perspective on a lot of things, and you change my perspective on some things as well. You know, we are pretty, for the most part, we're aligned in a lot of the topics that we're talking
Pretty
about.
much like-minded, yeah.
Yeah, and there will be times where we're like, nah, I think this, and I'm like, nah, I think this. But when we finish the conversation, we're like, you know, I actually see where you was talking about. So
100%.
we hope that the people watching this, listening to this, leave our podcast feeling the same way and feel more centered in on the topic than, you know, leaning more than the other. Because I say this all the time, we're in a climate right now to where we're being told from political parties and everything we do, really, that we should be on the extreme of one
Right.
end or the another. And that's not really the case all the time. We're more centered than we think. And I hope
100%.
that our podcast, while we're talking about sports and entertainment, to discuss more real life issues, I hope that it helps you to be more centered in your beliefs and your thoughts on situations than you currently are. But I feel good about it, man. I think we're heading in the right direction.
I do too, man. I feel like everything's on the up and up for sure. I mean, a lot of people are interested in what we have to say. We're gaining a little bit more of a following. We definitely need a lot more of y'all to, you know, come on board and, you know, so that we can give you some more of this content. But our thoughts usually do align in certain perspectives, but it always makes for good conversation whenever we do have opposing views, and that way we can come together and figure out exactly how we can come to a consensus on what's going on. So I do appreciate the conversations, because although I might have a thought process in mind, it's always good to have a conversation with someone else to be able to bring a different perspective into light. So it's always good, man. Always good. If you guys have different perspectives as well, we always like to hear what you got to say. So
100.
drop it in the comments for sure. And don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. But with that being said, man, we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.